everyone, Gaijin Goombah here. Now apologies this video isn't completely revolving around gaming, but I still think it's critically important to discuss this because while so far this issue only deals with importing anime, importing games could very easily be next. But don't worry guys, I've got multiple videos for For Honor and Overwatch coming down the pipeline. I just think this is an issue well worth talking about. So what would you say if I told you that anime including Yuri on Ice, Mr. Osomatsu, Samurai Warriors, Yokai Watch, Fairy Tail, Assassination Classroom, and the monolith itself, One Piece, was effectively banned from being exported in Japan? You'd think it'd be ludicrous, right? Like, how in the world could these anime, which have garnished so much multinational acclaim, be hit with a trade ban? Well, sad to say that it's happened. Though the ban was announced quite a while ago, it was multiple emails people had received from websites like PlayAsia, CD Japan, and Amazon.com that said that they could no longer honor orders and pre-orders of CDs, DVDs, and Blu-rays of the above-mentioned anime and more. Avex Group, a publishing company associated with these and other anime, have stated that as of February 15th, there will be an export ban on all associated published works in the form of Blu-rays, DVDs, and CDs. This potentially meant that not just anime, but music, movies, and video games that go through Avex and Avex subsidiaries would effectively be unimportable. And if the ban itself wasn't bad enough, Avex at the time of writing and recording this video has made no comment as to why they are enforcing this ban. Needless to say, this created an incredible outrage within the international anime community. How in the world could Avex instill such a policy? They've published some of the most globally acclaimed anime in the last few years, and at the height of their popularity, they would hinder the sales of their products? Well, the first thing that came to a lot of people's minds was the idea that this was a xenophobic move on the part of the company. It's been my experience that when it comes to the hardcore Japanese otaku community, foreigners, even those that share the same love of anime and games, are typically sidelined by that community. That isn't to say that all of them are like that. In fact, sharing my love of anime and games is how I met Tomo and Hutch. But I still sense some hostilities with Japan's domestic audience and producers when dealing with their international market. After all, it wasn't long ago that the United Nations made an attempt to enforce constrictive laws into the production of Edo manga and Edo anime, which many writers, artists, and authors in Japan claim would stifle creative freedom. But Avex is a publishing company, not an organization of writers or artists, therefore it would be hard to claim that this ban is out of spite, xenophobia, or just general confusion. I suppose another suspicion people might have is localization control. As mentioned above, anime has been in some international hot water in the last couple of years, so it might seem like this international shipping ban might have something to do with brands published under Avex trying to stay away from international legal issues. And while that would make a lot of sense, I don't think that's the full reason behind this ban. In fact, I believe all this has to do with just one simple thing: the protection of international sales rights. While researching this topic, I came across Sakuga blog, which did a great job breaking down this theory, so if you want to learn more information about this idea, be sure to check them out. Links in the description, of course. It's a fairly complicated legal theory, but I'll try to break it down in simple terms as best I can. Think of it this way. Avex Group has a home branch and several other international branches that are responsible for the distribution of their published works. These international branches exist in order to provide things like localization, international marketing, and international advertising for the works that they publish in Japan. These are critical not only because of Avex's published anime, but their music and movies are incredibly popular in foreign markets. And with that popularity comes a lot of money that goes into the localization of these public products to maximize sales. While a good number of people have no qualms in purchasing a Japanese DVD or Blu-ray to watch on their computers that can change regions in a single click, that isn't enough to earn the creators or publishers of the work enough money to be in the black. As someone who is friends with and has worked with localization teams, I understand the insane levels of work that goes into the process of making a product marketable for a foreign audience. And I'm not just talking about translations either, though that in itself is a giant can of worms. I mean, you got literal translation, cultural translation, figurative translation, it's a huge mess. But it's only the beginning. You also have to consider marketing and advertising. What works in some countries may not work in others when it comes to advertising. It's small and subtle, but makes a world of difference. For Japan, advertising in a cute way may fly within that culture, but within the context of another, it might require something different. So the question now becomes, what happens to Avex Group international branches if people keep ordering their products domestically in Japan using a third-party shipping company? While some might say they're making the same amount of money no matter where you buy it from, that's just simply not true. In reality, by buying from the domestic product through a third-party shipping company, it actually hurts the home office. Let's say a DVD in Japan is sold at $20 not including shipping, and the same product being sold internationally is $25 due to localization and marketing costs. By buying the DVD through a third-party shipping company, there is a net loss of $5 to the home office. Thus, having an international office responsible for the localization and selling of that DVD is financially unviable. Whether or not the customer cares about localization or not, it is still required because different countries have very different expectations and even laws when it comes to the international sale of media. So at the end of the day, I don't think Avex is initiating this ban out of spite, anger, or fear, but rather out of protecting their international branches and the licensing and sales rights they give to international distributors. By doing so, the international branches of Avex Group can continue to function normally. But does that mean this ban comes without cost? Of course not. If the reason for this ban really is due to the added cost of localization, marketing, and advertising, the final product will be more expensive than if it was shipped internationally from Japan. From this, two things are going to happen. First, banned items are going to still be bought, sold, and traded as they always have. It's just going to be done by individuals instead of established companies. I mean, good lord, bootlegging is what brought anime into the US in the first place. Second, the increased product price will create even more piracy than there already is. And while there have been laws put into place to try to stifle anime piracy, it's almost pointless in this regard. Digital piracy is like a hydra. If you cut off one head, two will grow back. If you shut down one site, two will take its place. That's just the way of things. Ultimately, I don't think this ban is going to get Avex Group any ground in the long run. It might seem like a quick fix to the problem of everyone trying to import Yuri on Ice and One Piece from Japan instead of local distributors, but I think in the long run, all it's going to do is anger people and possibly push them further into piracy. But I do think there's an answer to this: digital and streaming services. I noticed a lot of people were freaking out over what this ban might mean for services like Crunchyroll, and to my understanding, this ban doesn't affect them. After all, this ban is for physical CDs, DVDs, and Blu-ray discs specifically. Streaming and digital services should be unaffected, and like I said, it's streaming services like Crunchyroll that are probably going to be the long-term solution here. As we advance into the digital age, physical items like CDs used for media are by and large just not necessary anymore. I understand that there's no similar feeling than having that complete series sitting on your shelf, but by eliminating physical copies of media, the cost of production goes way down, as does the need for maintaining an international branch for physical sales. If you have just a few centralized streaming services that can be accessed through everyone's tablet, phone, and computer, there's just little need to spend all that money and all that worry on physical distributions, which in turn means you can charge less for premium services. No guys, this video is not in any way, shape, or form sponsored by Crunchyroll, but honest to God, I believe services like them are the answer to this age-old problem. But that's just me. What do you guys think of this whole situation? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching everyone, and a big thank you to my patrons for supporting the show. If you want to learn more about the world we live in through video games and anime, be sure to subscribe and click that bell to never miss out on my newest videos. And if you're wanting more, click those annotations and links in the description for even more cultural content. But until next time everyone, this is Gaijin Goombah, signing out.